The call came while I was still groggy from anesthesia, lying in a hospital bed with tubes running out of places I didn't want to think about. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, and I saw it was Dr. Patel from the veterinary clinic. Ms. Harper? This is Dr. Patel from Riverside Animal Hospital. I'm calling about Zeus. Someone just brought him in to be microchipped, but our scanner shows he's already chipped and registered to you. The thing is, the people who brought him in claim they just adopted him. Is your dog missing? The fog of painkillers couldn't dull the spike of panic that shot through me. What? No, he's with my mother. I'm in the hospital. I see. Dr. Patel's voice carried a note of concern. Well, the couple here says they adopted him 3 days ago from a woman who claimed she couldn't care for him anymore. They have a bill of sale. A bill of sale? I tried to sit up, setting off every monitor attached to me. She sold my service dog? Service dog? Now Dr. Patel sounded alarmed. Ms. Harper, I think you need to know. When we informed the couple about the existing microchip, they became very upset. They're saying they paid $500 for him. I've asked them to wait while I contact you, but I may need to involve the authorities. Yes, I said immediately. Call the police. I'll send you his service dog registration and all his paperwork right now. Do not let them leave with my dog. My hands shook as I hung up and immediately called my mother. She answered on the third ring, sounding annoyingly cheerful. Oh, sweetheart. How are you feeling? Is the surgery over? Mom, where's Zeus? A pause. Then, with that dismissive tone I'd heard my whole life. Now, honey, don't get upset. You know dogs are too much work, especially with your condition. I found him a nice family who actually has time for a pet. A pet? I couldn't breathe properly, and the heart monitor started beeping faster. He's not a pet, Mom. He's a registered service animal. He's trained to detect my seizures. Oh, that's just something you say to bring him places. I know how you young people abuse the system. I have epilepsy, I shouted, causing a nurse to peek into my room with concern. He's a medical alert dog. He's saved my life 12 times in the past 2 years. Don't be so dramatic, Sarah. You haven't had a seizure in months. Because Zeus alerts me before they happen so I can take my emergency medication. Mom, who did you give him to? I need their information right now. I don't appreciate your tone. I'm your mother, and I was doing what's best. Their information. Now, she huffed. Some nice couple from Craigslist. The Johnsons, I think. They have a big yard and 2 kids who were so excited. You sold my service dog on Craigslist? Well, I couldn't just give away a dog you paid all that money to train. I got $500 for him. I was going to surprise you with a spa day when you're recovered. I hung up on her and immediately called my lawyer. Yes, I had a lawyer. When you're epileptic with a mother who thinks essential oils cure everything, you learn to protect yourself legally. Janet, it's Sarah Harper. My mother sold my service dog while I was in surgery. He's at Riverside Animal Hospital right now. Can you? I'm on it, Janet interrupted. Email me his registration, your medical documentation, and any proof of ownership. I'll have the police meet me there. Are you okay? I'm in the hospital. Post-op from my appendectomy. I can't drive, I can't. Sarah, breathe. We'll get Zeus back. Your mother doesn't have the legal right to sell your medical equipment, which is what a service dog is under the law. This is theft. While Janet rushed to the vet clinic, I called my best friend Mia. I need you to go to my apartment right now and get Zeus's folder from my desk. The red one labeled medical. Janet needs copies of everything. On it. Your mom really sold Zeus? What the hell? She thinks I'm faking my epilepsy for attention. Remember? Right, the woman who told you to try yoga instead of brain surgery. I'm in my car now. The next 2 hours were the longest of my life. The nurse had to give me anxiety medication because my heart rate wouldn't stabilize. I kept thinking about Zeus, confused and scared with strangers, wondering why I'd abandoned him. Finally, Janet called. He's safe. The Johnsons are devastated. They genuinely thought they were adopting a dog whose owner couldn't care for him anymore. Your mother told them you were dying and wanted Zeus to go to a good home. She said what? Yeah, it's all in the text messages they showed the police. Your mother claimed you were terminal and had asked her to find Zeus a loving family before you passed. She even sent them a picture of you in the hospital bed. Must have taken it while you were unconscious. I felt sick in a way that had nothing to do with surgery. Are they pressing charges? The Johnsons? No, they're just heartbroken. They're actually worried about you. They thought they were fulfilling a dying woman's wish. But Sarah, The police want to know if you want to press charges against your mother. Yes, I said without hesitation. This isn't just about Zeus. She could have killed me if I'd had a seizure without him here. I know. The officers understand the severity. They're going to pick her up for questioning. Can Mia bring Zeus to you at the hospital? Please. And Janet? Thank you. That's what you pay me for. Rest up. I'll handle this. An hour later, Mia arrived with Zeus. The moment he saw me, he broke into his working dog composure and whined, pressing against the bed rail until Mia lifted him up beside me. He immediately went into alert mode, sniffing me carefully, checking my hands and face, his post-seizure protocol, making sure I was okay. I'm okay, buddy, I whispered, burying my face in his fur. I'm okay. You're such a good boy. He settled against my side, maintaining contact, his trained response to provide grounding and comfort. The nurse who came to check on me smiled. That's the calmest you've been all day. He's my medical alert dog. My mother tried to sell him while I was in surgery. The nurse's face went from soft to horrified. She what? But that's like selling someone's wheelchair. Exactly. My phone rang. Mom. Sarah Elizabeth Harper. How dare you send the police to my house? They're saying I committed theft. It's a dog. He's a service animal, Mom. Medical equipment. Valued at $30,000 with his training. $30,000, that's insane. For a dog. For a dog that can detect seizures 20 minutes before they happen. For a dog that's called 911 for me twice. For a dog that's the reason I can live independently instead of in a care facility. You're being dramatic again. I don't know why you insist on this charade. Mom, I have 3 neurologists who would love to explain my charade to a judge. Along with my seizure history, my brain scans, and the video of Zeus alerting to a seizure that saved me from falling down a flight of stairs. Silence. Then, you're not seriously going to let them arrest your mother. You sold my medical equipment to strangers on the internet while I was unconscious. You told them I was dying. You took photos of me unconscious and used them to scam innocent people. What exactly did you think would happen? I was trying to help. Dogs are expensive, and you're always complaining about money. Because my medication costs $900 a month. Because epilepsy is expensive. The only thing more expensive would be living without Zeus. I don't believe you actually need him. This is all for attention, just like when you were little. I hung up and blocked her number. The police arrested her that evening. The charges were serious. Theft of property valued over $25,000, fraud, and endangerment of a disabled person. The Johnsons, bless them, provided all the evidence, screenshots of texts, the fake bill of sale, everything. My brother called the next morning. Mom's in jail, Sarah. Dad's trying to bail her out, but it's set at $10,000. What were you thinking? I was thinking that she stole my service dog and could have killed me. She's your mother. And I'm her daughter. The one with documented epilepsy that she refuses to believe is real. The one whose medical alert dog she sold on Craigslist like old furniture. She was trying to help. No, David. She was trying to prove that I don't really need Zeus. She spent 5 years telling everyone I'm faking my condition for attention. Well, now she can explain that to a judge. The story hit local news. Woman sells daughter's service dog during surgery. The disability community was outraged. The Johnsons, who'd returned the $500 and refused my attempts to reimburse them, gave an interview about how devastated their children were and how horrified they felt about unknowingly participating in theft. Mom made bail after 2 days. Dad called, begging me to drop the charges. She's learned her lesson, Sarah. She's embarrassed. The whole church knows now. Good. Maybe public humiliation will accomplish what 5 years of medical documentation couldn't. She's your mother. She changed your diapers. She raised you. She sold my service dog, Dad, while I was under anesthesia. To strangers. On the internet. After telling them I was dying. It was a mistake. No. A mistake is forgetting to feed him. This was malicious. She took photos of me unconscious, Dad. She created an elaborate lie about my dying wish. That's not a mistake. That's a crime. The case took 6 months to go to court. During that time, I stayed no contact with my mother and limited contact with family members who tried to guilt me into dropping charges. Zeus never left my side, wearing his vest that now had patches reading, "I am medical equipment," and federal crime TO interfere with service dog. The trial was short. The evidence was overwhelming. The Johnsons testified about the emotional trauma of believing they were fulfilling a dying woman's wish. My neurologist testified about the medical necessity of seizure alert dogs. The prosecution presented text messages where my mother called my epilepsy attention-seeking behavior and said she was tired of everyone babying Sarah's fake illness. She was found guilty on all charges. The judge, himself the father of a disabled child, was particularly harsh in his sentencing statement. Mrs. Harper, you didn't just steal a dog. You endangered your daughter's life out of willful ignorance and spite. You traumatized an innocent family. You committed fraud. And you did it all while your daughter was vulnerable, undergoing surgery, trusting you to care for her service animal. This court sentences you to 18 months in prison, suspended to 6 months with 2 years probation, 200 hours of community service, specifically with disability advocacy organizations, and mandatory education about epilepsy and service animals. She served 4 months in county jail. Dad divorced her while she was inside. David still won't speak to me, says I destroyed the family. My response is always the same. Mom destroyed the family when she decided her opinion about my medical condition mattered more than my actual life. Zeus is now 10 years old and still working, though I'm training his successor, Apollo. The Johnsons and I became friends. They volunteer with the organization that trained Zeus, helping educate people about service dogs. Mom got out of jail 2 years ago. She sent one letter, a half apology that still insisted she was trying to help, and that I overreacted. I didn't respond. Last month, I ran into her at a grocery store. Zeus immediately positioned himself between us. He remembered her, remembered she was a threat. She stared at him, then at me, then at my medical alert bracelet. I read about seizure alert dogs in my court-ordered classes, she said quietly. I didn't understand. No, I agreed. You didn't. And you didn't try to. That's the problem. Can we talk? Maybe coffee? Zeus pressed against my leg, and I felt the slight nose bump he uses for an alert. My aura was starting. A seizure was coming in the next 15 minutes. I can't, I said, pulling out my emergency medication. Zeus is alerting. I need to get somewhere safe. Her face went pale as she watched me take the medication, watched Zeus guide me to a bench, watched him position himself to support me if I fell. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I know, I said as the medication started working. But sorry doesn't undo what you did. Sorry doesn't rebuild trust. And sorry definitely doesn't give you access to my life anymore. I left her standing there and went home with Zeus. He'd done his job, like always. And thanks to a microchip and a vet who did theirs, he was still here to do it. Some people think I was too harsh, pressing charges against my own mother. But those people have never had their life-saving medical equipment sold on Craigslist while they were unconscious. They've never had their disability dismissed and disbelieved by someone who should protect them. Zeus saved my life again last week, a severe seizure that would have been fatal if I'd been alone. Every time he alerts, every time he keeps me safe, I think about what could have happened if that microchip hadn't brought him back to me. Mom's probation ends next month. I hear she volunteers at a disability center now, that she's become an advocate for invisible disabilities. Maybe she's changed. Maybe she finally understands. But Zeus and I? We're doing just fine without finding out.